In this presentation, you will be introduced to action research. So, what is action research? Action research is basically any practical research that applies social science research practices within programs of social action with the specific purpose of addressing social problems and bringing about desirable changes. It is an approach in which the action researcher and members of social setting collaborate in the diagnosis of a problem and in the development of solution based on the diagnosis. In action research, those people who are affected by the changes are involved as participants, often as a deliberate moral commitment to empowerment or for the benefit of creating knowledge and action collaboratively. Action research is a form of practice which involves data gathering, reflection on the action, generating evidence from the data, and making claims to knowledge based on conclusions drawn from validated evidences. Action research involves making some real-world intervention and studying the result of it. Action researchers are more interested in the practical success of action than in creating quality general knowledge. Now, let us examine the principles of action research. In traditional research, researchers do research on other people, while in action research, researchers do research on themselves in the company of other people. That is, action research is an inquiry by the self into the self, undertaken in company with others, acting as research participants and critical learning partners. The idea of self-reflection is central to action research. In action research, no distinction is made between who is a researcher and who is a practitioner. While doing action research, the researcher encounters ontological, epistemological, and methodological issues. Ontological issues. What do action researchers believe in? Action research rests on ideas to do with truth, social justice, compassionate ways of living, respect for pluralistic form, and the like. Epistemological issues. How do action researchers come to know? Learning is rooted in experience. It involves reflecting on the experience of practice, deciding whether the practice was in line with your espoused value base, and then deciding on future action as a result of the reflection. Learning can be accelerated and intensified through critical awareness and reinforced through intellectual study. Learning mainly involves making new connections and reconfiguring present knowledge in terms of its potential use value, and this process is often carried out at a level not accessible to conscious awareness. Methodological issues. How do action researchers act? The idea of reflective practice was originally popularized by Donald Shawn. Reflection on action makes sense, however, only when practice is seen as in relation with others, a process of dialogue and encounter. Action researchers regard They work at ensuring that encounters with others are opportunities for learning and growth. Now, let us look into the practical issues of action research. Concentrating on only one part of your work helps you understand the nature and process of your own learning. Once you have come to a point where you feel you have made progress in one aspect, you can then progress to other areas which themselves will become new research projects. So, stay small and stay focused. Identify a clear research question. Be aware that the research question might change as you develop the research. Be realistic about what you can do. Plan carefully. Set a realistic time scale. Making sense of the data and generating evidence. Action research involves gathering, presenting, and interpreting data and generating evidence to support a claim to knowledge. That is, we systematically monitor what we are doing in order to gather information about it. We organize the data in a variety of ways, reflect on it, draw conclusions from it, and present those conclusions with the data for critical scrutiny of others. Here are the key theorists of action research. Among them, Carl Lewis is usually credited with the development of action research. Now let us see where action research is mostly used. Since action research is always to do with learning, and learning is to do with education and growth, many people regard it as a form of educational research. Apart from that, action research is used in organization and administration studies, management, healthcare, community rural development, and planning.